check, check.
If I do need to turn it off, I'll just turn it off. All right. Yep. All righty, thank you. What is this feeling like a knife? I'm breathing, I'm hurting, can't you?
Check. Ooh, that's kind of loud. I scared myself. Is this going to work, or should I be closer to my mouth, further away? We are live?
Check, check. Hey,
Bum,
I
bum,
think
bum.
we're a go.
Oh, I got to go get that. Quick. What's up, Crossfire? How you guys doing tonight? I know that sadly we're not with you guys again, but don't worry. You're here with us now. We're excited. We're glad that you're here. We got a couple of announcements to get going with here. Ryan, you want to kick us off?
Oh, I would love to as soon as I can find my announcement list.
We shared them.
Oh, what are those? Yeah, I'm trying to do multiple things at once here. All right, I'm guessing here's what we've got for announcements. One thing, but we don't have enough people in our chat room. That's what I'm trying to determine. Like, not enough of you are in here to do some of these, so we're going to have to come back to these a couple times. But the first one is for all of you guys who are in there, put your names down, say hi, give a shout out so that way we can see who's in there when they come up through the comments, and we're able to see who's all around. Then the second thing that I want to be able to say to you guys is when you are in here, there's a question that I've got for you, and that question is, what do you want to hear next week in the message? So we've been in this series called Unpacking Stories. We started about a month ago with Mary and Martha. Then we went to Gideon. Last week we heard about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Tonight we're going to hear David and Goliath. So is there a story that you've been like, I heard that a long time ago. We'd love to hear it again. Or something that you heard about when you were in the children's wing or something like that. Let us know what story that is. If you've got a request, what do you want to hear us preach next week? Put it in the comments, and we'll be able to say, maybe give a couple of thoughts on, hey, we'll pick one of those. And I do want to say hi, Wendy, acting as Matt, and hi, Natalie. Good to see you guys checking on and being able to give us some shout-outs there. Do we have any other announcements? Am I missing something? I know those were the first two.
I think those were our biggest ones. I can't think of any other ones, really.
All right, well, welcome to spring break, ladies and gents. I know I did not plan on being here today. I planned on originally being in a beach in Florida.
I plan to continue doing what I'm doing already. Go to work and keep
being
doing
here.
that.
You were going to do a game night.
I was going to do game night. I was
Yep.
super excited to have you guys here for a game night. So with that being said, though, we will be doing a little bit of some fun game today, and you guys will get a chance to engage with us a little bit in the chat for that. So
Nice.
pretty
Hey,
excited for it.
the whole Rissy clan's in the house, too.
Are they?
Yeah,
Woo!
they're all
Shout out
on
to
one.
the Rissies. That's what I'm
Nice.
talking about. Way to represent, guys.
Brother,
Way to
sister,
represent.
Papa.
Other sisters.
Probably other sister, maybe. Mama, maybe. Hi, Julie. All right,
Hey,
so
Mom.
is it time for something?
I think so.
Time for
T-How time.
T.O. time. I think he's got something set up for us. Is T.O. going to come in and explain this for us? I mean, I think I need a little bit of an explanation on what we're doing. Or do we do it?
What's up, everybody?
Oh, T.O. Good to see you, buddy.
Is it game time already?
I think it's T.O. time.
All right. So the game tonight, we're going to have Jake and Brian up. They're each going to grab a drink. I think we got we're starting off with water tonight. Yep. We're going to each grab a water. They're each going to have a candle next to them. And with the lighter, they're both going to light their candles at the same time. The goal of this game is to see who can drink the water the fastest. And at the same time, their candle has to be lit so that they can drink their water. At any time when your candle goes out, you must relight it with your lighter, and then you can begin drinking again. All right, chat, I want to see who you guys rooting for. Who thinks Brian's going to win it? Who thinks Jake's going to win it? Let us know in the chat. Take the caps off. All right, first off, you're going to have to light it before you can drink. Remember that. Oh, no, we're going to light it, and then we're going to start. All right. Are we ready? 3, 2, 1, go. All right, candles lit on Brian's side. He's drinking. Jake blows it out. Oh! Make sure that candle's lit. Make sure that candle's lit. Oh, Brian doesn't know what he thinks he's doing a couple different things. Oh, the strategy coming in. Oh, I don't know who's closer. Oh, Jake, I think you forgot to blow it out. All right, here we go. Oh, and Brian takes the first round. All right, we'll blow out the candles here. All right, chat, should we do it again?
I would just like to officially thank Grace and Natalie for accurately predicting the winner. Thanks for being on Team Brian, not being on Big Brother's Team Grace. I appreciate that. Much
That
love.
really hurt.
And
I
it's good to
didn't
see
feel
Julie
like
say
enough
hi.
of you were rooting for me.
You think that was it?
That's
Was
what it
that-
felt. I felt that. That's what I felt.
Yeah,
I felt like I was trying to carry a team that just wasn't.
Weight
there
it
for
down,
me.
man.
I
I mean,
know.
I looked at you at a time. I'm like, do you have something on your back?
That's what it felt like.
Like
It
a lot
felt
on
like-
your shoulders.
I
It's-
did. I felt like I was carrying a team.
That would be rough.
But it was a team of one, and it was really disappointing.
Oh,
but
man.
I'm gonna.
You
I'm
know,
gonna
see,
push
I
through.
felt picked up. I felt
You
the whole
felt
Rissy
lifted?
clan was lifting me up.
Yeah.
And then I was just like,
That's what it
mission
was. I
done.
didn't have them.
Yeah.
If I had
All
them.
right,
Where's your family?
all right.
Where are they at? Where are you guys at? I need you guys.
I like the trash talk.
Landon, it's also good to see you on here, buddy.
I like the talk. Are you guys ready to up the stakes?
Did you say like food, steaks?
Oh,
I'd be down for steaks.
even better.
Dude, I'm actually really stuffed right
Even
now.
better.
That's a lot of water to swing.
Coca-Cola. Are you ready? Should we see
guess.
that in the chat? Let us know if you want Coca-Cola next.
Bring it, whatever.
Yeah, let's do
All
it.
right, all right.
It's for the kids, man. It's for the kids.
For the kids, Brian says. What a guy. What a guy. All right.
Hi, Olivia. Good to see you.
Who takes this one, Jake or Brian?
I'd really like to say I'm going to take this. But
Oh,
I
Jake
honestly
is
don't know at the
confident.
moment.
He is
We're gonna see what's
confident.
going
I'm
on.
not confident how much more room I've got.
Oh, Brian.
Just got done eating the whole pizza.
Should I grab those mics for you?
Gotta do a couple of these. Gotta do a couple of these.
All right, get the
Get the blood flowing.
get the blood flowing.
Water settles.
All right. I think we're ready. I think we're ready for round two. Round two. 3, 2.
Hang on. I feel like I can get burp. All right, better.
Oh, that was a horrible burp, Brian.
A little more room.
3, 2, 1, go! Light. Oh, the strategy. Oh. All right, Jake, got a light. Oh, that looks like it. No, it's the wrong one. You lit the wrong one. All right, Brian, you gotta blow. No cheating here. Oh, soda's just good. Jake, I'm glad you got the big bottles.
Stop it.
She went with 2 liters. Oh,
Oh my gosh.
that looks wonderful. Not even half. Brian, you have to blow, you cheater. You gotta get your lighter.
I think I want to lose it.
Oh, this one's tough. Jake, let it go.
It's a lot, man.
Oh, boy.
Ah!
Brian, blow. Stop hitting it.
Oh, I got dinner that came up there.
All right. Who thinks one of them is going to puke? I think it's happening. Oh, Brian. Falling behind you. You better get yours lit.
It's hard.
It's not water anymore. Higher stakes. You said you wanted the stakes. Oh, Jake's taking it home. Oh,
Dude, I got no more room.
giving up?
Nah.
No, he's not giving up. All right. And Jake takes it. Game over. All right.
I feel defeated and bloated all at the
Defeated
same
and
time.
bloated.
You know what, guys? I don't even care. No one was there for me. I got it. I did it. You're welcome. That one goes out to the Ricci clan. That's for doubting me. I'm gonna go cry for a little while.
Jake, Jesus loves
Jalen,
you.
I appreciate you in the support of asking us to not throw up. I'm really hoping I don't throw up also. This is a lot.
All right.
Yeah, I don't feel that great. This was a terrible idea.
I don't know what do we
What
how do
did
we
you
come
say,
back
Brian?
from that?
For the children?
Oh my gosh, it's for something. It's not for my benefit, I promise you that.
All right. Can we get this table down?
We'll handle this.
All right, Crossfire, thanks for tuning in tonight. I'll be talking about David and Goliath tonight, but first off, I want to start off with a little bit of a spoken word for you. I'm going to move this back real quick. And it goes a little something like this. No, we're good, Kyle. Thanks. What is this feeling like a knife stabbed straight through my heart? I'm grieving, I'm hurting, can't you see? Lord gave me a heart so full of love, but you sit by and watch me bleed as I plead for your mercy. Lord, let me be sanctified. Lord, let me be sanctified. Tell me this, have you ever been asked the question, what do you want to be when you grow up? Now slow it up. Isn't that the question we've been asking ourselves all our lives? What is my purpose? How am I going to be noticed? How am I going to be remembered? Let me tell you something. I understand life like Jesus walking on water. I understand life like Moses when God parted the sea. You see, life to me is beyond simple understanding. Thinking about it makes me ecstatic. Me plus God, that's mathematics, but I'm not talking school, because when I sit down in that classroom, I feel like a fool. My heart's beating, my mind's racing, wondering if I'll be accepted. Do they think I'm cool? See, this is where my insecurities lie. I just want to feel accepted, wanted, liked. Do I matter to anyone? I want to cry. I want to die. I feel so alone, so I sit there and hide behind my phone, pretending like life is okay, because that's all I got to say to make you go, and I don't want you to stay. Confined to the emptiness, which I call my mind, clear by day, cloudy at night, my mind races, my feet do the pacing. I'm so complacent, fighting the biggest enemy of them all, like I'm David faced up against Goliath. That's 1 Samuel, when David, against all odds, laid down his faith on that hopeful that hopeful cross, for with faith and effort, no burden too weary, David was seeing clearly a champion. For with God, David had won. Now my room is my escape. Running from my problems, isolated, cultivated, my sanctity. Sitting over the table, looking down, reading about a man with a crown in a town called Jerusalem. They call him Jesus. Now, opening the book, taking my time to look into a world so new, for Jesus died for you. Yes, you heard that right. Jesus died for you. Now that question changed, did it not? It's no longer what do I want to be, but what does God want me to be? What does God want me to be? Thank you. All right. So a little bit about that. That's me facing my own giants in my life. That's why I should like to share that with you. Is that's struggles I've dealt with. Those are troubles that stay with me, and I have to face, just like David in this story. He faces up against a giant named Goliath. And I entitled this, "My Giants Are No Match for My God." How do we face our giants is the question. And what do our giants look like? So what troubles you? What problems do you have in your life right now? I made a list, and I want you to tell us what's your giants right now in life in the chat. Let us know. But maybe you lost part of your routine, not being at school. Maybe a sport's not happening now. You're afraid. Some type of change in your life that just makes you feel inadequate. There's uncertainty, isolation, self-doubt, you name it, loneliness, all these changes in life. I imagine some of you are going through some of those giants of a problem. And I look at this story of David and Goliath, and I think, well, that's an underdog story. Because if you read through it, you realize that on paper, with the odds, the statistics, whatever you want to call them, Goliath should win. Goliath's a warrior. David's a shepherd boy. Goliath's trained. He's top of the world champion. Goliath should win. But David is that underdog story. And I can't help but think it's March. We're in March. March Madness should be going on right now. And if you don't know what March Madness is, it's a basketball tournament, a Division I basketball tournament. Best basketball teams in the country play. And there's an underdog story from about 2 years ago, 2018, of a team seeded 16th versus the number 1 seed. And unprecedented underdog story. And I want to pull that video up and show you guys now what that underdog story was like. Video.
UMBC's Ryan Odom and Tony Bennett from Virginia.
All right.
Exchanging pleasantries.
So what you're going to see here is the yellow team is the 16th seeded. That means they're the teams that just made it into this tournament.
Got that one. His teammates love it.
Virginia, number 1 seed, they're favored to win the whole tournament.
For the rebound. He gets it back to Sherman. Next time, he knocks down the
But you
three.
see UMBC, the underdog,
now back to Jarris Lyles.
they come up
Lyles pulling
and they
up
show
for three. Got that one
the
to
number
go.
1 seed that anything's possible.
Teammates like that. Retrievers are
And
feeling it.
as they cheer on and
Next time, Lyles
keep their team
drives,
in it.
finish with the left hand.
I love the bench celebrations.
Jarris Lyles is gonna drive
Always a
for
always a
touch
fun
shot
time.
coming up next.
They're just
He has
loving what's
28
going
points
on,
in the game, 23 in the
but they're doing it
second half.
together.
And UMBC is up 56 to 42. Next time, watch for Lyles after the steal. Coming up the floor, he's going to look and find Arkel Lamar, who's open for three.
See,
And it
in
goes.
this
Lamar,
tournament,
12 points, 10 rebounds
as
in
many
the
years it
game.
has gone,
Cavaliers,
there's a matchup every year, first seed versus the 16th seed. And in that time, 134 games were played before this game, and every single time that number 1 seed won.
Nnamdi Didiakite ends up on the ground
So if you statistically, this team should never have won
around with the basketball. Make
if you're going by statistics alone.
before they commit a foul right there. Next time, off the Devin Hall miss. And watch for the retrievers going to work. Arkel Lamar. Up the floor,
And as the
hits
game
Lyles.
approaches an end,
Lyles throws it up and in. They wave that shot off, though.
the UMBC see the victory in sight,
What's coming next?
and they know that
This time
they're going to win it.
to Lamar underneath.
And this is just the dagger on top of a great game for them,
Is feeling it. History
putting the game out of reach.
next time. Jordan Grant. He gets some. Maryland
Making
Coastal County
history
making history. The 16th
as the first team ever to beat a number 1 seed.
454.
All right, I share that story of March Madness with you because I love basketball, and I thoroughly enjoy that, seeing an underdog win when they're not supposed to, and having the heart to overcome a giant like a number 1 seed in that such tournament. And I go back to the story of David and Goliath. It's an underdog story. And something that's been lacking in my life lately is sports. They're all canceled. So I thought it was fitting to do justice. We'd give an introduction to our starting lineups tonight, David and Goliath. All right. From the from the Philistine army, fighting for the Philistine camp, standing on an astonishing 9 feet 9 inch tall, proven warrior, equipped with the deadliest sword, spear, javelin combination in all of the world, the undefeated champion of the world, Goliath of Gath. And fighting for the Israelites, a newcomer, standing at a height that he doesn't wish to disclose at this time, recently anointed by Samuel, known shepherd of his father's sheep, equipped with his own crafted staff and sling, David of Bethlehem. All right. Chat, let me know, who do you think wins this battle? We got David of Bethlehem or Goliath of Gath? All right. Whoa, crafty. All right, thank you, gentlemen. Return. I'll see you soon. In the book. All right. Now, I want you guys to open your Bibles. We'll be in 1 Samuel. Excuse me. We'll be in 1 Samuel chapter 17, starting at verse 8. But before we get there, I want to just set a scene for you guys where we have Goliath of Gath and the Philistine army behind him at the valley of Elah. And then we have David and the Israelites behind him at the valley, which essentially looks like a big stadium. And Goliath is standing in the middle, calling for a challenger. We're going to begin verse 8. Goliath stood and shouted to the ranks of Israel, "Why do you come out and then line up for battle? Am I a Philistine, and are you not servants of Saul? Choose a man and have him come down to me. If he is able to fight and kill me, we will become your subjects. But if I overcome him and kill him, you will become our subjects and serve us." Then the Philistines said, "This day I defy the armies of Israel. Give me a man and let us fight each other." On hearing the Philistines' words, Saul and all the Israelites were dismayed and terrified. So Goliath is very confident in himself. He's talking to the Israelites, who in my opinion are some bad dudes. They're known as the army of the living God. God showed up and he's terrified those who go against the army of the living God. And in a way, I feel like Goliath knows that, but Goliath has so much confidence in himself that if he just fought one person, he's a giant. He's taking that person out. That's his thought process, I feel like. And David at this time, he's not yet there because David's a shepherd. David's at home. He's in Bethlehem. He's shepherding his sheep for his father. But David's older brothers are in the Israelite army, and they're there at the time. So David runs supplies back and forth for his brothers and for the people in this battle. And in doing so, David one time, he's bringing supplies, but this time was different because he heard Goliath calling out. He heard Goliath asking for a challenger. But what triggered David was that David recognized that Goliath was defying and he was mocking the army of the living God, the Israelites. So David was asking questions like, who's going to go fight him? Who's going to go take care of this problem? And nobody's stepping up. Everybody's in fear. Everybody's terrified. So what does David do? David says, well, I'll fight him. Mind you, David, he's got the sling, he's got the staff. And Goliath, he's got all this gear, swords, weapons. And David's like, I got this. Let me go talk to Saul. Saul is the king of the Israelites at the time. And we go to verse 32 and 36. And it says this, David said to Saul, "Let no one lose heart on account for this Philistine. Your servant will go and fight him." Saul replied, "You're not able to go out against this Philistine and fight him. You're only a young man, and he has been a warrior from his youth." But David said to Saul, "Your servant has been keeping his father's sheep. When a lion or bear came and carried off a sheep from the flock, I went after it, struck it down, rescued the sheep from its mouth. When it turned on me, I seized it by its hair, struck it and killed it. Your servant has killed both lion and bear. This uncircumcised Philistine will be one of them, because he has defied the armies of the living God." Now, I like David. I like David a lot. Right here, David's basically saying, this guy, he's no more than a bear. He's no more than an animal. I got him. I'm going to take him out. Don't you worry, Saul, I got this. And Saul agrees, and he allows David to take on the challenge of fighting Goliath. So in preparation, Saul's trying to give David some armor. He's trying to give him a sword, trying to give him equipment so that he can battle the giant, the Goliath. Well, that doesn't fit. It doesn't really fit David, and David's not able to do his normal use of, taking down a bear or a lion. So he says, no, I don't need any of that stuff. Just let me get my sling. I'm going to grab a few stones here, a couple smooth stones. I'm going to take my staff with me. I should be good. And if you're hearing that correctly, yes, you are. David's going to go up against the mighty champion Goliath with nothing but a sling, a couple of stones, and a stick, basically, his staff. And then we go to verse 40 to 47, and it leads into the battle between David and Goliath. Starting here, then he took his staff in his hand, chose 5 smooth stones from the stream, put them in the pouch of his shepherd's bag, and with his sling in his hand, approached the Philistine. Meanwhile, the Philistine, with his shield bearer in front of him, kept coming closer to David. He looked over and saw that he was little more than a boy, glowing with health and handsome, and he despised him. So Goliath's like, who's this clown coming at me? This little boy's going to take me out? He's laughing at it. And he said to David, am I a dog that you come at me with sticks? And the Philistine cursed David by his gods. See, Goliath, he's so confident in himself right now. He's like, oh, he's bringing sticks. He's mine. I'm going to take him out. And the Philistine, come here, he said, and I'll give your flesh to the birds and the wild animals. David said to the Philistine, you come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. This day the Lord will deliver you into my hands, and I'll strike you down and cut off your head. This very day I will give the carcasses of the Philistine army to the birds and the wild animals, and the whole world will know that there is a God in Israel. All those gathered here will know that it is not by sword or spear that the Lord saves, for the battle is the Lord's, and he will give all of you into our hands. Whew. When I read that, I can't help but think these two are straight trash talking each other. They're like, I'm better than you. I'm better than you. I'm going to take you down. You're not going to take me down. I got God on my side. David's talking to him. And me looking at this video of March Madness, when their team's doing good, they're cheering, they're jumping around. I imagine, be with me here, that the Israelites behind David at this time, as David's praising God and saying, my God's got this, don't you even worry about it. They're just behind him. Oh yeah, David, you get him, you get him. They're just cheering him on, and they're just letting the people have it, and that's just encouraging David that much more. I call those people David's hype squad. They're hyping him up, getting him ready for this battle. And then we go to verse 48, 49. David is hyped at this point. As the Philistine moved closer to attack him, David ran quickly toward the battle line to meet him. Reaching into his bag and taking out a stone, he slung it and struck the Philistine on the forehead. The stone sank into his forehead, and he fell face down on the ground. What does that look like? That's the prime point. That's the climax of the game. That's a buzzer beater. That's a winning touchdown. And I imagine the army behind David is going crazy. They're like, oh, go get him. Cut his head off. And it goes on. So David triumphed over the Philistine with a sling and a stone, without a sword in his hand, and he struck down the Philistine and killed him. David ran and stood over him. He took hold of the Philistine's sword and drew it from the sheath. After he killed him, he cut off his head with the sword. When the Philistines saw that their hero was dead, they turned and ran. So David, with all the confidence in God, with his hype crew behind him, slayed his giant, which was Goliath. And without that hype squad behind him, and without trusting in God and believing that God's got this, David doesn't do that. So I ask you that question again. How do we approach our giants? How do we fight our giants? Well, what do we learn from David here? When we're battling our giants, we need to go forward. We need to go forward by trusting and honoring God through our actions. David went fearlessly. David went fearlessly towards Goliath in the battle. And God, and then also David leaned on his community. His hype squad behind him that was cheering him on, he knew they had his back. So I ask you this, what do we learn from David? How do we face our giants? It's just that. We go forward with our actions, honoring and trusting in God, and do it together. Let's pray. Lord, I just want to thank you for this opportunity to come here this evening as we're in quarantine and we're trying to figure out life in a different way. Lord, I just thank you for being able to come and share with the students and everybody who's tuning in just a little bit about you and how we can get through this giant of a story that we're going through, our journey right now in life. Lord, I just pray that you'd be with us and you continue to walk alongside of us, and when we have uncertainty, we don't know what's coming next, that you would continue to be with us and give us comfort and guidance in that we have a promising future, Lord. We thank you and pray this in your good Son's name. And all God's people said, amen. All right. I think we have time for Zoom meeting now. Yep, so I believe in the chat we'll have the Zoom meeting coming on up, and then go from there. Everybody get into that, and we'll get into small group time. All right. Thanks for tuning in. God bless.